Alright, welcome back to another quick little casted game by AVEIAN. 7 Even's audio just wasn't working and I have a little bit of free time, so I figured I'd go through and talk about some of these. Right as we get into this, I just want to pause. 7 Even and I are Plat 1s, potentially ending this one at Plat 2. And we have played This is Jeffrey before. So this is Jeffrey. I think the first time we played him, he was playing with Nugify, who I think is Conk 3+, has played some professional games. So we went into this knowing, oh dear, we have played these guys before. We knew that Jeffrey was going to go Malians. I think I quickly scouted his in-game stuff and saw that he had just been spamming Malians. And then we were up against the Roos. So I'll play it from here. The opening for myself was a little bit cleaner, other than a little bit of chaos sending my scout weird places. I had no idea what I was doing. So a little bit of delay time there, but so scout goes off. I get the cistern on the food and stone. I don't like this. Ideally, this first system should be here. So if I had to replay this back, I would have it here. I think I saw the stone and panicked, thinking it was gold, and just dropped it, but that was fine. First little sheep was a penta, nice little penta sheep, so not too bad there. And then I decided to just kind of run this around and go and see what we could find. So we knew we were up against the Roos. We knew we were up against Malians. There was a time when I used to play a lot of Malians, and so we were kind of chatting here about our plan being get onto their gold, shut it down, shut down that passive gold income, and we would work from there. So that was kind of our plan, just get up to feudal and then go and do that. I remembered who we were actually playing against and went, oh, you're right, maybe I should go and clear out some of these deer. There was a video of 7 Evens a while back where someone was saying you can just auto click. It's fine to do that if you have other things to go and pay attention to, but in this case I can just get off the 2, still keep up my micro and macro, or my micro, and be focusing on moving him around between shots. Just kind of lets you keep up the pace. And behind this, really, again, it's all I'm doing here is that I had that 7-3 split onto gold, and then I'm looking at just getting up enough onto food so that I can age up. I started clearing out these deer and realized very quickly that, oh shoot, I was actually going to run out of food at my base. So I think I went, yeah, here-ish, I went, you know what, we'll just run these sheep back. Run the sheep back, and then I can run these back and go from there. Again, when you drop your cisterns, you want to get as much resources as you can. So here I've gotten my TC and stone and berries, which is okay, but ideally it should have been here. And here would have been gold, TC, and wood, right? So my first one should have gone here. I think my second one has to go here. I end up dropping it there. Go back, finish off these deer with the scout. I think I do a little loop back around the back. Sorry for the sniffling, by the way. It's summer, which means it's allergy season, and I just can't get enough allergy meds into my system to stop myself from sniffling. So sorry, it's annoying, I know. So we'll send the scout out. We'll send him just up, back, and behind again, clear up some of this space that we can't see. And in the meantime, we're just aging up. We're still talking about whether or not we want to go onto the Malians here. 7 Even's gone and found himself 11 sheep there. Not too bad. And then, you know, we'll just close that for now. So all I'm looking to do here again is to get up to that 10. I don't know if you've seen the previous game where I dropped the tower and had weird funky stuff going on with my wood distribution. I think it's a little bit cleaner in this one, so I think I don't use that 100. I'll get a lumber camp down probably in this area somewhere, and then I'll get another house up. One thing I didn't mention in the last one is that as soon as this Grand Winery finishes, I like to pull all of my villagers that are on sheep here and pull them onto berries. that kind of lets me get up the veteran contract just a little bit sooner, right? You get a decent amount of oil from doing the berries, which is also why I dropped this first farm down too. Just so I get that every time this drops off, there's, you know, 10 food and 2 oil. Gets that passive income going, and it's relatively cheap if you do that first 10. So a house, lumber camp goes down, and then I drop the house, I think, so that I can get enough stone. So here we've already got the border settlements going through. Just want to finish that off. And then I want to get off the stone here so that I can drop this cistern. So I'll have the cistern going through. I pulled the villagers off of gold because I want to speed that up. Already have the Grand Winery going through, which means, yep, this should already be switched onto W, onto the Dialectus. And then we just kind of keep going, right? So as soon as this hits 150, I want to start dropping down production buildings. Still trying to get up to that 10, knowing that I've got a few in and around doing building things, so I'll end up pulling them over. And at this point, right, so 7 even was shouting at me. He's like, hey, come get this scout, he's almost gone. So I think I pulled my scout out to come do some trouble, and then his readjust picked off the scout. We carry on with our scouting pattern, which is really where the first kind of call in this game to switch things around came from. So my scout came through, 7 evens is going, he's just inching it closer over here to the, we don't know where anyone is. And I think I find the roost. I think I found the main TC like in here somewhere. So going, there we go, spotted the main TC. Don't have any info, right? I haven't picked up any other info. Okay, there's the Kremlin, and then we saw this. So we saw the second TC, and the call was immediately, we're going to go for this. So we're staying feudal. We're not going up. We're going as hard as we can for that TC. Mercenary house is almost done. I'm immediately going to drop a stable, and then I think I immediately drop a second one. And we've already switched this over to Conscriptio. So I've already switched this over going, or I think it passively switches to that one or stays on that one. But keep it on Conscriptio so that you get that unit production going. Which is why I've dropped all my unit stuff back here, because this one's doing my eco upgrades. I mean, it could do textiles. I'm pretty sure in this game I drop a barracks like here somewhere, which is way too far forward, but it's within the range of this. Dropping another house just so I don't get housed, and then I'm immediately going into horsemen, and I've gone the longbowman. And the longbow, this was a bit of a weird choice for me. As was going with the horsemen. So going into Malians, if I play the Malians, I'm going Malians to shut down cavalry, right? So I'm going Donzos, and I'm going javelin throwers, which counters both of the units that I'm currently producing. The reason I'm not going spearmen though is because 7 evens gone camels. So any knights that come out of the roost are already like debuffed by the camels. And if we're going to punish a position here, longbows camped around this area can punish off everything from distance. So we decided to post up into this bush. We've killed that scout. We decided to post up here. What I do like about this mode is I can actually do this. There's a tower here, which we didn't see. They saw this. So there was a time where we go to push in where we don't see that anymore. Right, we have no idea what's happening in this fog of war. All we know... Oh. Why'd that all switch? Hang on. Strange. What we know is that there's a TC here. I don't like that. That's frustrating. Why did it do that? Weird. If I switch to 7 evens? No. Alright, stay on mine. So, we know that there is a TC here. We do not know that there is a tower. And we just figured we were going to push in. We wanted to do as much damage to that TC or to that town center that was here as possible. So we see the TC. We see this and go, oh, how did they know? And then Orange has already pulled all of his units over, right? So this is a pretty clear indicator that, oh, he knows we're here. At which point we kind of go, this is going to be a lose if we don't trade these off. So he started screaming to me here. rightly so, that I needed to clean out these Donzos, which I had tried to until these militia came running through. Longbows do a little bit of work here. Meanwhile, 7 evens, he's lost the ram. He's still pushing onto these units. Does he have it? He's got the 1 camel raider left. He ran past my poor longbows here, but whatever. And then we panicked. Because in our eyes, this was a big fail, right? We had completely failed this push. This is getting repaired. We hadn't done the damage we needed to do. And we weren't entirely sure what we wanted to do from here. I think I decided to just keep producing units. The scores will show, like, this is pretty indicative, right? We're a fair bit behind. We've lost out on... Malians are untouched, so they're getting passive gold. We didn't do much damage to the Rus. They're on 2 TC, so they're pumping out a bunch of units. 7 even's doing some nice roaming and running around. I will say from I can judge in hindsight moment, you don't want to do that as Malians. You do not want to be on berries. There's no reason to. They're producing cows, which is great, but if those cows are near the town center and you're passively collecting, that's 500 food, right? What is this? 250. So you're cows. If you're playing Malians, go cows. You get gold faster. So scout goes down. I'm still just pumping everything I can to there, and I decided that I was going to mix in some spearmen. Just in case that night charge happened again, I could use the spearmen to go and clear some of that out. And so I dropped a blacksmith. Blacksmith went down. I've already done the siege engineering, so I can pump out the cure siphons. And I've got the skilled arrow coming through. Units are going. I'm playing dangerously close to that. I'm about to get housed again. Putting the lumber camp a little bit further forward. And then I've gone for a 3rd cistern here. This was an interesting... I like this just because it gives me some area here to go and put down more production. I probably should have put it here just to get that bonus production speed on the barracks too. But that's hindsight is what it is. So 7 even and I both decided, okay, we're gonna post up here. We're gonna sit in this bush. I've kind of caught up score-wise, and if I open this one up for a minute, nope, current resources. I think we're kind of both floating. We're in that range of not enough gold to age up, sort of too much food. Kind of need to rebalance this, and I think at this point here we just kind of went, we need to take that TC. So we were going to push in to take that town center as fast as we could. Cure Siphon's going to do work, we know that. But we are playing into blind, right? We don't really know what's happening here. We know that there's a tower there, and that's about it. And I think 7 even decides here that he's going to get ready to go up to castle. So once this push comes through, he's going to go up to castle. He's done some running around back here. We're waiting on the cure siphon to come through, and then we want to start pushing in. Right. So as soon as that popped through, as soon as the age 3 came through, we went, okay, now's the time. We don't have this info in game, so we don't really know what everyone's doing. And scouting from myself, I think my scout got picked off a bunch earlier. So we had no idea that there were archers. Weren't super worried about them. A little bit of a mistake that he ran through. My spearmen are going to do the work that they need to do here. And horsemen will start picking off these javelin throwers. He stepped up the javelin throwers, which is really nice, to come and take out these longbows. But didn't have anything to clear out the horsemen. So the horsemen were just kind of free hitting. So were the archers. Tower goes down, TC goes down. And then from here, you pick off these. 7 even's gone the castle behind us. right? So he's gone castle. If I go and look at his base, yeah. So Gulams are gonna start pumping out. His eco is picking off nicely. He's already got the moss going. He's already got the walls coming in for safety. We never said it out loud, but the trade routes here, so we were thinking of going for trade. Sorry that the map's being funny. I'll have to figure out how to fix that. And then from here we just wanted to do some damage. I figured at some point I was gonna want to go castle. I think I switched over and I had a whole bunch of villagers go on to gold. Hadn't gotten that upgrade yet, so switched on to that one. And then we decided to just come in here and do as much damage as we possibly could. I was looking around with horsemen. I do think we kind of lost this a bit. And on the other side, 7 Even's he's just being a nuisance, but he knows that he can start coming through this wall. So he's sending units over to go through the wall. I think I'd drop an age up here relatively quickly. I know this just popped off, so yeah, these will just finish off the berries, and then they'll drop off the tower there. I saw that green had a scout or a knight coming up. I was a little bit worried that this was more than one, so I pulled off a whole bunch of units to go after him. And in the meantime, we ran into a bit of trouble here. Malians have stayed age 2 and just completely massed up. So there is a whole bunch of javelin throwers, a whole bunch of donzos. And like I said earlier, this counters everything that we have here. Right? The only thing that really kind of go toe-to-toe with, well, sort of, the spearmen can do a little bit of work. But that's all the horsemen gone. The javelin throwers and the donzos can pick off those. He's got a mango coming in to shut all this down. This is, again, a position where we went, oh no, I don't win this over here. And 7 Even's call was, well, why don't I just try to pull everything this way? So he then goes and posts up and starts punching through the wall here. Alright, so this is great because this bought me time to pump out some more units. I didn't want to wheel these all the way back, so it was a bit of a lost cause here. And all I'm doing back here is fixing up my eco, making sure that I get this going up a bit higher. And then at some point, I think I end up dropping a siege workshop here so that we can punch out some siege. And 7 Even steps in here, clears out, poor cows, clears out some of this eco. Remember, this was all berries around here, so berries are already gone. It looks like we've started into a farm transition. And he can just sit here and face tank TC, because that's what Gulams do. It's a nice call. He backed away here because he figured, I think I made the call that I had lost on this side. So he didn't want to fully commit because we weren't sure where those armies were. But, I mean, this is still nice. Get the shots off with the mangoes. Springald, so we've seen that there's some siege, and then he sees that this army's come through. And I think his call here is to step away. I think Gulams wipe this. Right, I think if you were to step in here with the Gulams, yeah, donzos and javelin throwers. Javelin throwers have really high armor against range, like ranged armor. But if you can get on top of them with, well, Gulams, knights, any type of thing that can get on top of them, you usually do fairly well. Meanwhile, I chose one of these spots. It was either where the scout is or here, and I've decided to go in and pick up some units. I finished off nice little farms. These are all mostly in the influence of cisterns, so I'm getting that oil through. Really should have been producing this more because this is way too much oil to be floating. So 500 and 480, that's at least 2 rounds of one of these things. I did decide to end up going, I think I went a Springald, went a Cataphract just for fun, and then dropped more Kira Siphons and just went for push. 7 Even decided he'd punched a hole in here and was now going to come around, so he's just moved his army around. And in the meantime, I've decided I was going to stop more knights from coming through this back end, and I was going to drop a wall. We talked about going trade. We figured we were still doing okay. 7 even had, you know, this gold here that he was going to go for. I had this gold that I was going to go for, and I think I wasn't sure where my second one was. I don't even think I got around to thinking about my second one. Springald comes through. Started collecting stone just for some passive stone in case I wanted to, you know, do some tower upgrades. Doing some of those upgrades. I'm just checking to see what upgrades I have. 7 even's gone to take a look around in there, and then we start kind of moving forward. One thing I'm not really great at doing, I prefer to micro my army so that I can pick off units as they come, which means my focus was right here, which is not great considering these 10, 11 have been idle for a good 10 seconds at this point. So being here lets me see what's coming in. I probably should have stepped up and done some more damage here. 7 even Springalds, picked off the Springalds, then picked off the Mangoes, and then I can move up to start taking off some of these units. Longbow will do what they need to do. I had them protecting the siphons for now. And then this is just a bit of a mess. Mangonels are down, so there's nothing to quickly clear any of this out. But this is kind of what I was talking about. The Donzos and the Javelin Throwers, if you get on top of them, they don't do so much damage against armored units, right? So we're just kind of cutting through them. The Musafati warriors in there were doing damage, but the longbows were picking them off nicely. And then from here, the Kira Siphons are doing what they need to do. Anything that steps forward, that's why the longbows are so great. And then we just kind of, we've pushed in on this position here. 7 even's he's just rolling now with, he's got almost all the relics, and his army's pretty strong here. Some knights stepping forward. I don't have any spearmen in there. But the Springald will do the work. And then, nice thing about the Ubids, right? He can drop any of those siege that he needs to here. So he's just gone back, gotten his mangonel, and then now at these point, these archers and javelin throwers don't do much. The Musafati warriors will do a fair amount. If you can get the drop on these armored units, the Musafati warriors will do some work. They get picked off nicely though, and then the GG is dropped. An interesting one. We were pretty pumped about this game. So Jeffrey was Plat 3, I think, and his partner in this game was Diamond. So we were definitely punching above us, which turned out to be a lot of fun. What we didn't do is what we said we were going to do in the early game, which was kind of take out some of these golds. So we never really had pressure. We figured just the easier path in was through the second TC, and then there was little defense here once we cut through all the production and the Kremlin. It was fairly fine. I can't pull up much of the unit stuff, but I do remember from here that our villager count I was on par with these two, so we kept up at around, was it 56? So I think it was 55, 57, 56. 7 even, can I switch to him? I can. 7 even had 77, so he had way more going on at that point. He was just rolling, doing well. I'm floating too many resources. There's no reason for that, so I probably should have dropped more production in here and then just kept going up with that. And what else can we say about this one? All in all, it was fairly good. I would like to quickly see. Oh, he's already surrendered, so I can't. That's it. That's all I got then. Thanks for watching this, and hopefully it was informative.